Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're out here on a very cold day here in Indiana. Maybe not very cold, but it is quite windy. Temperature over there says 36 degrees. Got some snow still here that hasn't melted. And what I want to do though is to compare a couple different ammos or test a few different ammos. This time it's going to be 45 Colt plus P ammunition. One of them is going to be a 265 grain. And let's see, the velocity they say is 1400 feet per second. So we're going to check that out. And then the other one is a 335 grain plus P as well, and it's going at 1200 feet per second. We're going to be shooting both of those out of the old single shot Rossi Brawler here. Kind of like this gun. It wasn't meant to be anything super special. It was the cheapest gun that I could find for 45 Colt, and a friend gave me a box of ammo, so I can't just throw the box of ammo away, so I ended up buying a 45 Colt pistol that I could find for a very good price. Let me show you guys the rounds. Here they are. This one is the 265 grain. It's a little bit of a shorter bullet there. They are nickel plated casings, and they say 45 Colt on the bottom. Nothing about Grizzly, unless Grizzly's logo or symbol is, you know, a couple asterisks with a line connecting them or whatever. The larger 335 grain looks like that beast. They look like big solid lead projectiles here. I will show a side-by-side comparison because it's kind of hard to do that with these gloves on. Maybe you can see a little bit there, but yeah, 265 grain right here, 335 on the left. They look like some really big bad boys here from Grizzly ammunition. I've found some Grizzly ammunition before. They seem to work all right. I don't know if they're that popular, but you know, let's go ahead and try and do like a 5-shot average. Let's start with the 45 Long Colt plus P 265 grain. Now to work this Brawler here, you have a safety on the opposite side. Easy to push in and out right there. We'll go ahead and leave the safety on. You just push this button down to open the chamber here. So we're going to push and then twist up like that. The round goes in like that. You don't have to push in or anything like that. When you close it, it's going to push everything in there locked and everything like that. So we're on safe right now. Let's go ahead and go down to the chronograph. So there's my fancy dancy chronograph right here. We're at 36 degrees Fahrenheit, 60% humidity. Go ahead and put this back a little bit because if you go too close, it doesn't seem to really register it, okay? So hope the wind doesn't blow this over, and hopefully you guys aren't getting too much wind on the microphone. I'm using this microphone buff here to hopefully mitigate some of that, and it's on the opposite side of the wind. Oh no, there goes the chronograph. Oh no. Yeah, just like I thought. Now this is a 265 grain. It'll recoil, but maybe not as much as the old 335 grain. All right, here we go. First shot here. I've never shot this ammo before. We're doing it kind of cold here. 131. See, like I said, might be too close to get a reading. 100. It's either too close to get a reading or we jacked it up where it's not working anymore. But dang, that is a beast of a round. All right, try another one. Let's see if it works this time. 1397. And yeah, that kicks. When it's cold out, you definitely feel a little bit more. 1397. If not, we'll just have to, oh, there it goes again. Dang here. Try the second shot. We might not even be able to finish this off. All right, here we go again. Check out the recoil here too. Nothing registered. It does have a little bit of a bang, that's for sure. All right, after some fixing up on a few different things here, we're ready to rock and roll again. Here we go. Check out this recoil too, guys. $13.32, and something flew off. Well, okay, that round is so powerful that this frame on my optic blew right off. So if you're gonna use something like this on your Brawler, don't go cheap like I did, because you know I was like, cheap gun, then let's do cheap optic, you know. So kind of underestimated the power of the 45 Long Colt. So anyway, I mean, the optic is still there. However, yeah, we'll see if it lasts the rest of it. Otherwise, might have to take it off and just use iron sights. But okay, there we go. There's 1332. I'm just gonna try and finish this up quickly and then we'll talk about it. 1302, and that thing keeps falling off. Now pay attention to this chamber. I'm not opening it up. I'm wondering if the recoil is doing it for me, which I've never had that happen before shooting 45 Long Colt. But this is some plus P ammunition. Yeah, that's doing it by herself. That stuff is powerful, guys. 1302 again or not? Maybe I just didn't read it, but it did blow off a stick here. I don't think I hit it. Let's try to find it. Well, that round did kind of jack up my chronograph a little bit. Apparently I hit it right here, which just sheared it off. Didn't even think I was that close. I mean, it went straight through the first one, no problem, hit the target in the back. And so I don't know, wind might have just blew that just right at the right moment and jacked it up. But I think I can still use the chronograph. We'll just not use the far end of the shade protector thing or whatever it is, okay? All right, after some technical difficulties, ready to shoot again. All right, here we go. 1333. 1358. It is insane that this thing opens up with all that recoil. It never happened for any other 45 Long Colt that I've shot through this. All right, that was 1358. Last one here. 1322. Wow. At least just one less step to do is just open up the gun to eject your shell because it does it automatically. All right, so now let's try the 335 grain. You know, if that one was kicking hard, imagine what this is going to do. It's slower, however, it's way heavier. So this is probably going to pack a lot more of a punch. Let's check it out. Whoa. 1290, but that was kicking hard. I'm getting the black rubber or dirt off of this grip or something onto my hand. But you know, it's cold out here, kind of hurts. Probably won't hurt as much as it will tomorrow when my hand starts to warm up. 1290, all right. Now, this is a 9-inch barrel, so the velocities are coming out of a 9-inch barrel. Not sure, you know, if you're gonna have a revolver, it's probably a shorter barrel than a 9-inch. I don't know, depends. But you're probably going to expect a lot less a lot less velocity. So here I'm trying to give it the best shot. You know, 45 Long Colt maybe out of a rifle or something like that. It's going to get you maybe the more advertised velocity. But let's say 1290. What did it say on the box again? Sorry, maybe I'm wrong anyway. Okay, 1200. Okay, yeah, we are more than the actual velocity of the box. So at the end, we'll compile all the numbers and give that to you. 1322, so almost as much as the 265 grainer. All right, we'll just keep it in my pocket here. And by the way, we are cold out here. What is the temperature again? 36 degrees. I think it's getting a little colder because I think earlier I said 39. 36 degrees now, okay? 1244. Ouch. Woo. 1341. That's probably the fastest one I think so far. All right, last one here. All right, here we go. Woo, 1341. Now that one didn't open up as much, but it did break it open. Actually, for some reason, that one didn't register. One more just to deal with the pain here. Woo, 1320. All right, now it does look like this thing is holding pretty well together with plus P ammunition. Don't see any fatigue. I can't remember in the manual if it does say that you can shoot plus P ammo, but I think you can, and we'll give that to you guys there in a little bit here. All right, so now I want to do some slow motion video, I guess, pretty much of seeing how that recoil looks with the another camera here. So we'll go ahead and do the 265 grain first, and then the followed up by 335, or I think we'll just put them side by side. We'll see. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy that shot. So both of those shots have knocked my target down. I didn't stake it. Didn't think I needed to, but that 45 Long Colt really is a beast. Now check it out. That is the 335 hit on this steel plate and the 265 grain. You can see a little bit more of a divot here maybe, or that's just color. But yeah, those are some. I was aiming here, by the way, and it was shooting high. So I don't know if now my sight's getting all out of whack or what those ammos does, but you know, I was aiming here and two really close dots, kind of close together. So ammo seems generally more or less accurate. It's just that the sight needs to be more dialed in there a little bit. What did you guys see of that? Slow motion. That stuff is wild. I mean, that heavier bullet, 335 grain, was definitely kicking a lot more as far as the recoil. I mean, they both just flung the gun up and over, and both released the chamber here, or the breech here, and opened it up slightly a little bit there. But that ammunition plus P is definitely got some power to it. Probably the most power I've ever felt in a handgun in my life. So hopefully that slow motion was pretty neat and kind of give you guys an idea of what you're going to recoil. I mean, this thing it's not a light gun. It's heavy. So I can only imagine what that's going to feel like out of a revolver maybe, you know. At least with the rifle, it's probably not going to feel so bad. But yeah, with a handgun like this, that thing's wild. So in any case, let's show you guys the velocity measurements and the analysis there, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, now that Grizzly ammunition was a great find. The plus P ammunition, both in the 335 grain and the 265 grain ammunition. I think it's gonna do what it says it does. It's just a solid lead, flat nose projectile. And if you were really trying to protect yourself from some bears or some kind of wild creatures out in the wild, that thing's definitely gonna stop it. And you're probably only gonna need one shot anyway if you're using a Rossi Brawler there. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you guys like this video. You guys have some more ideas of what to use this Rossi Brawler for. If you wanna see more stuff about the Grizzly ammo, let me know in the comment section. We'll talk to you guys later.